Hi, we're inside Intel's Design Labs, where we're here to see Intel's two-screen future. Now, Intel's showing us two devices, one for the future and one for the present. This device right here will be the inspiration for devices shown off this week here at Computex. Now, what's interesting about this particular device is that it is in fact an ordinary PC. You can see all this, the screen on the left looks like a normal desktop, except in tablet mode. But what's interesting though is on the right-hand side, which is essentially an EPD display, what we would call normally an e-ink display. So we can interact with it just the way we would normally do with an electronic tablet. We can go ahead and erase data or ink data. We can go ahead and transfer it into a note. We can go ahead and interact with the PC on the left-hand side, and so on. What's really nice about this, though, is the fact that this device essentially consumes very little power. In fact, the EPD display on the right-hand side consumes essentially no power whatsoever. That allows a battery life of about 8 hours. Now, this device was designed to compete not with another tablet PC, but with this, a Moleskine notebook that we would go ahead and take and write on it just with pen and ink. And so what Intel did is they actually showed us the way that they actually prototyped this device. They started off with essentially what's essentially a paperboard mock-up, and then went on from there, 3D printing something, using a 3D printer with a mechanical interaction. Notice the hinge, how it folds back and forth. Something that gives us an idea a little bit more of how it's going to be designed mechanically. This is made of metal. And then we've gone ahead and there's a couple of other prototypes they've provided us with another look at the hinge and what's potentially a functioning screen, but without the PC to go along with this. So you can see that Intel's actually gone ahead and mocked up sort of the system sample here we have, and then we have the PCBs that would fit into this. And it was this process took about 2 to 3 years to actually complete. And so right now what we're seeing is sort of the fruition of that, again at Computex. Now, the one thing that's also interesting about this is the fact that a normal tablet has what's called a glass surface. And in fact, Intel has the two surfaces here for us to try. And when I write on the glass surface, it feels very plasticky. I'm just essentially writing on a sheet of plastic. The writing surface has a bit of give and a bit of different texture. And in fact, it feels a little bit more like writing on paper. That might not make a big difference to you and I, but for someone who's used to a Moleskine notebook, that's a significant addition. Now we've seen a look at the present. Let's take a look now at the future. This is a two-screen device that uses two displays. And there's been rumors of other two-screen devices before, but this is Intel's vision. Now, this is just an ordinary PC. The display stretches across both displays. But what we can see, though, is what we've essentially done, though, is we've taken that display and folded it down into a more compact form factor. Now, since this is, in fact, a folding device, we can do things that we normally do with a folding device. We can go ahead and use it as a laptop. So we go ahead and put it down, and this transforms into a keyboard. We can go ahead and type here like we normally would, and there's a screen above. We can use it in tent mode, which goes ahead and allows us to go ahead and put it to display a PowerPoint presentation, for example, with the slides on one side and the speaker notes on the other. And of course, we can go ahead and use it as a giant screen, but just in a different mode, where we have an Excel spreadsheet on top, scrolling down to the bottom. So that's the two-screen present and future as envisioned by Intel. Now, everyone knows Intel for Intel Inside, but Intel has a clear message they want to get across. They can be the inspiration, too, for designs that are on the outside as well. Dell, HP, Asus, Acer, these companies go ahead and design their own PCs, but Intel has their own vision, and they're making it available to the industry at large.